Yep, I
Alright.
got that up. Cool. So
Um,
it looks like we're finally starting on my end.
I can't get it. I'll just run it on, Edge. There's nothing else I can do.
I suppose that works. That's alright. I can
Alright.
cover up the beginning of this game. So here we are on the planet. We are told to chase this bunny. Right away you can see that these players are collecting star bits. They do want to collect these star bits because after we talk to these bunnies here, we will have to catch all three of them. As they're saying right there, so they can help their mom or whatever. So now we have to find them, and the easiest way to catch these bunnies is to shoot the starbits at them so they get knocked back and get stunned, and then it makes it significantly easier to catch them. And so we do that for all three of the bunnies.
Yeah, I'll just be set. Then I'll probably
Alright.
catch you guys on screen. Um, I'm just moving into another. Yeah.
Timba getting clean bunnies. It looks like Alaeus had a bit of trouble there. I don't know if that was bunny 2 or 3. Looks like that was bunny 2. That's very rough for Alaeus. It's not the best start to have. Usually if you're going to have trouble with a bunny, it's going to be the third one because of how difficult it is to hit him. But it looks like Alaeus knew just what to do and still caught him. So Timba's starting with a pretty decent lead, but that doesn't matter that much considering the length of this game. Bunnies are merely the start of everything.
Alright, yeah, I'm back, so I guess I still haven't got it working, but,
Sorry, we got plenty of time.
we got plenty of time. No rush. So, no. So at the minute, it looks like, wait, so Timber's taking an early lead. Am I right
Yes,
saying?
that is
I
correct.
can't, still doesn't,
Alright, so it's alright. There wasn't a lot to be going on. We're just currently collecting. They both collected the star chips and then they rescued the Luma. So basically, this first entire star is just trying to rescue this grand star that we're going to see in just a second here when we go inside this planet. So we're just trying to get to the end, like every level, of
great.
course. So Timba's getting stuck on the pipe. So let's see if Timba gets this. Alright, Timba got it. It's, I believe, a 4-frame trick. And if you get it, you skip a cutscene that shows you about the Grand Star. Or shows you where it is and everything. Otherwise, I think I said it wastes 15 seconds approximately. And it sucks if you have to go through it on top of everything else you went through. Let's see if Alaeus gets it. Ooh, it doesn't look like he got it. Although, I guess this proves for a good example of what everyone can see what Timba skipped at the beginning. So it does look like, on top of having good bunnies and the cutscene skip over Alaeus, Timba does have this really good lead. However, like I said, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Like I said, everything, it's just Gateway. It's only the first star. We still have so much farther to go.
Yeah, so basically it's like 61 stars. You have to try and get all of them in, we usually try and get them in between the range of 2.5 to 3 hours. That's kind of how long the race is going to be. Yeah.
So right now we're getting this handy situation where they're both at this place. This brand new place that's really dark until this grand star goes into the center. So we get this wonderful story about how this is Rosalina's home. We get some story that I suppose we could care about.
It's basically like Mario. No, basically Bowser kidnaps the princess. Usually you have to save her and save the world at the same time. So a bit different to other stories, other games, which is like Mario 64 is just like, okay, Mario 64 is just like Bowser's kidnap Peach, go. Sunshine's a bit different, Galaxy 2 is a bit different, and all the other games after that is just, I don't know, because I've never played too much after 3D World.
Well, I mean, the general idea of the games were just that he had all the stars and you had to get them from him, so he didn't have as much power or whatever.
Yeah,
Or
basically.
at least so you had enough power to go confront him. But
Yeah,
I
basically.
believe Galaxy was probably the first one that was like, the entire world is at stake.
Yeah.
At least to my
Yeah.
knowledge, because Sunshine just had the island, and even then he wasn't like destroying things. He was on a vacation, in quotes.
Yep. Sorry about all the issues on my end. I don't really have the game shown right now because this is like really confusing. I'm just a new person set up because I've never actually used speed gaming commentary. So I think I'm gonna be set up pretty soon so I can see both games in just a moment here. Hopefully.
So we can see that Timba's already in Good Egg 1, Alaeus just flying in now. Good Egg 1 is just basically the starter mission to get a general idea of the game and how it feels to play it. Some of the very basic mechanics like the star chips on this peanut planet.
Yep, basically.
It's
There's
overall,
nothing.
yeah, it's just nothing terribly notable.
There's
It's
nothing
just,
really
or I
exciting going
guess
on. It's
right
just
there he did skip a vine that you usually have to get. Usually you have to stomp up a piranha's plants, or like, spawns a vine, I'm sorry. But the gravity in this game, as we'll probably be able to tell even more farther on, is that the gravity is very strange. And we're able to abuse that a lot.
Yeah, basically because when you do a triple jump, you automatically get sucked into the next planet's gravity. As you see Alaeus do right about here. It basically just saves like I don't know 5 to 10 seconds, and he does get a he doesn't get the long jump onto the platform here, which does
I don't
lose a
think
bit
I've
of.
actually seen that long jump strat before.
Yeah, I always go for it when I so it's like you can just long jump with Luigi onto the platform and just do a backflip or side flip. That's what I usually do.
I mean, that makes sense. I did what Timba did earlier, if you missed that, where you go to
Yeah.
like the left of the hole and then backflip twice.
I guess that works too. It really depends on like personal preference and
Yeah, I
stuff like
suppose.
that. Alright, next up we have a bit of a tutorial for well before the throw in star bits is we're gonna basically just throw like 7 star bits at the 5 star bits at this Luma here. And yeah, basically.
Nobody knows how many starbits it is because everyone misses all of them.
Yeah.
That's just
Turns
how it
out you,
works.
yeah, turns out you just need to throw 5 and you can get 2 for extra. No, 2 extra, basically.
Mhm.
So why is any percent is Luigi more popular than any percent Mario? Any percent Luigi has a couple of more it has a couple of more it has a couple more skips that you can do. Especially there'll be ones I'll be pointing out pretty soon. Most of the skips are pretty easy. Most of the skips are easier than there's a 5 minute long cutscene at the beginning, which if you want to put it into terms, Galaxy 90% Luigi is like Race Violent Sunshine, but yeah, Galaxy 90% Luigi is like Race Violent Sunshine.
I guess that's a fair comparison. Yeah, like Potters was saying, it does have the faster beginning, which is very nice for people who reset a lot, like me,
Yeah,
and just
same.
people in general that don't want to wait like the extra 5 to 7 minutes for cutscene. I think it's 5,
Yeah, it's 5.
but like he was saying, there's also the additional skips that you're able to do Luigi, which is possible because Luigi, I believe, runs slightly faster and jumps slightly higher,
Yep.
which enables just a few. It's just enough to make a few skips either really easy or just barely possible.
Yeah, basically. Alright, so Alaeus has just gone into Polestar right here. I just nearly missed that. You basically do a home ground pound on the Luma, and you can just completely skip going around. It saves about 15 seconds. Also, Timba's gonna go and eventually feed this hungry Luma. There's a bit of
Mm-hmm.
a there's a bit of an unknown strat that some Galaxy runners don't know, which basically if you hold B right when you get to the Luma, you can actually point straight at the hungry Luma, and you can just go for an early shot, which saves like a second, but it's free.
The other thing about that strat is that if you aim away from the Luma, you will not accidentally shoot starbits if you do the hold B thing,
hmm
which is very useful.
How beginner friendly this run is actually one of the better runs in well, it's one of the better runs with being beginner friendly. The only issue is, of course, the 2.5 hour length. But if you're doing, because I have heard you actually do a bit of BK, I think BK Hundo. That does
Mhm.
it's about just a bit longer than that, but it's yeah, it's really fun. Most of the strats are really easy to do. Yeah, it's a lot more downtime than you think, so you can easily just go to the toilet or something while a cutscene's going on. Well,
Yeah, on top of that, the movement for Galaxy is really easy to learn. It's not as complex as some of the other Mario games like Mario 64 or Sunshine,
oh,
because
definitely.
with Sunshine you have Flood and everything Flood can do, which brings in like you have the hover slides and you have rocket storage and all of that. With Mario 64, you have just how fast movement works with
hmm
like really fast dives and backwards long jumps, and you get into everything like that. But with
Alright.
Galaxy, it is just the movement is simplistic enough that it's really easy to learn, but that does come with the downside of feeling slower
Mm.
than the other Mario games, which for some
Alright.
people is an upside and some people it's a downside.
Mm. Alright, so Timba's actually gonna go for a bit of a strat. He's not going to go for tree skip, which I think Alaeus is gonna do. So tree skip is kind of a really big skip in this game where mainly like higher okay, good runners actually do. Where oh, Alaeus is gonna go for it. Hey.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, Alaeus is going to do a something known as slope momentum, which is basically you do a couple of spins. No, you constantly spin when you're going up slopes, and you can basically go up pretty high slopes. you can't really go all the way up.
But what we are going to see here from Alaeus that is very clearly different than Timba. Alaeus is getting up on top of this tree, which, if hopefully he does, he will end up jumping from this tree to the other, like he just did. And if he does this correctly, which clearly he did, he will save approximately a minute over doing it either normally or the way Timba did it. I don't recall which one. But either
Yeah,
way, we can still clearly see here that Alaeus is now in the lead, even after everything that happened in Gateway. And after
yeah,
everything Timba did, it amounted to just now getting to the Toad. So that just shows how fast or how much time the tree skip can save if done well, which
If
Alaeus
you
did a fantastic job on.
if you mess up tree skip, it can really be really costly to the run. So, like, if you mess it up, you can lose upwards of about 30 seconds to a minute. Well, 30 seconds. So it's like most of your time save's just gone, and most runners, if they're not in a tournament match or anything like that, they just reset.
Yeah, each fail does lose like 30 seconds, and then you'd have to climb up the tree again, depending on how far you fell, and then do it again, because at that point, if you already lost 30 seconds, you have to do it again, because you're already dedicated to tree skip.
Yeah, basically,
So it's just
if you
kind of like a risky situation. If you're going to go for it, you have to go for it.
yeah, if you go for it, it's like, yeah, you're just about gonna get it done, and if you go for it, you have to commit, basically. So next up, both Alaeus and Timba are gonna probably do this one skip in Honey Hive 2. Saves about 20 seconds ish, I think, from doing it normally.
I'm
But
curious on which method they're going to do, though, because I guess I don't know how many of the not top runner people do the windmill one
I know,
version of it.
I think Alaeus is gonna do it. Yep, he is gonna.
Okay, yeah. And
Um,
I mean, the windmill version of this skip is faster, but it's only by probably 5 seconds at most. It's probably even less than that.
maybe
And
like
I
five.
guess
Yeah,
here, yeah, we're gonna get
we're gonna get a bit of.
we get to see both people doing different strats and
Mhm.
seeing how they compare.
All right, Alaeus is
Alias, yeah, he's having a bit of trouble climbing up the windmill here, but he's
having a
getting
bit
up there.
of. So he got up there though. And Timba is about to do a
The log wall kick and just ground pounded on him.
It's a lot more consistent, but it's like you lose a bit more time due to it. Yeah, so it turns out Timba might be actually catching up to Alaeus though. So yeah,
It's a little closer.
yeah.
And the windmill setup, the way Alaeus did it, where you land on like the spoke of the windmill rather than the actual platform, it is faster, but it's a lot harder because it's so thin. But I made a setup where you actually go out over to the platform itself, and it loses about a second, but it's still faster.
So these are two different routes. Well, technically, if you want to put it in a way, there's like a skip. If you go for the skip, then you get a faster route out of it. If you don't go for the skip, you get a slower one. So it's like the skip saves time, but there's like alternatives to the skip.
Yeah, it's just different versions of a skip. The overall route for the which stars we get, I think they're going to be using the same route. I
I,
don't know which route they use, I guess. So I guess I'm going to figure that out.
I know Alaeus does the updated routes that everybody else actually does. If you don't do it, then I don't really understand why. But it's like, yeah. Well, if you don't do it, it's like you. If you don't do it, you're gonna you miss out on like 20 seconds or something. But then again, I guess it's due to the fact that people actually skip a star we're going to see later. And Timba, I don't know if he still does old route. I know I was doing a race with him on the weekend. I believe. Yeah, and I think he actually. I don't know what he does.
I
So
suppose it doesn't matter too
it
much
doesn't.
right now.
It doesn't really matter, to be honest.
Now, we'll figure it out more when we get to that point, and then we can explain more about the route differences once we get there.
Yep.
So, yeah, they're pretty much tied at this point.
We're going to we're also going to see a bit of B list for both of the runners, which is basically trying to kill Mandibird without the bee mushroom, which is it's honestly not too bad of a strat to go for, but it's pretty risky if you it's pretty annoying if you mess it up. Is this the
It's
first? Technically no, but this is the first race actually shown on Speed Gaming. There was a race before of True Gamer and Claire, but True Gamer actually streams from webcam, so we didn't really showcase the race on Speed Gaming. But technically, yes, this is the first one.
This is the first one, yes. The only
Uh,
thing about the B-list thing for Bugaboom was that the way they did it was still a good thing because doing it B-list is slightly faster for the ending long jumps. But there was a faster method where you can kill him early, but it's very risky, and that's
yeah.
only for very top runners. It saves a maximum of 5 seconds. It's
So
not worth
yeah.
it.
So to explain, there's actually a brand new strat that I don't imagine any runner actually going for the tournament. But there's this one meme strat where you can basically there's like this really precise thing where you can jump off this manta ray and you can just basically die in this loop-to-loop cutscene, and it kind of saves this transition between the movement between here and the entrance, but it's not worth it at all, and I don't see why anybody would want to actually go for it.
I
Unless I don't
mean,
know their meaning.
I'd say it's worth it if you're able to actually get it, because to get the initial jump, because you have to jump off the manta ray, I believe I was told it was 2 to 3 frames, and if you
I
can
think
get
it's free.
that, then it's okay.
Yeah, the only
But
problem is there's actually a chance you can crash as well.
the chance to crash is only if you spin.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So as long as you make sure you don't spin and you die when the trigger is actually set, it's good enough. Like you said, I don't think any of the runners will go for it because you can crash, but
It's really unlikely.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that any of the runners here in the tournament are going to be able to do it. Just also because of how new this strat is.
Because it's literally just being found recently. Alright, so Timba got a 58 and Alaeus got a 57.95, which pretty good races. They're pretty good times for the loop-to-loop race, honestly. Usually it's like people average between a 57, 58. Maybe some people, if you're really good, get 56. Maybe even like a 55 or something. But, well, 55 is like world records here, which is still really amazing to see.
World record tier meaning individual level world record tier. I'm sure the actual world record for the game probably has a 56 or 57, possibly even a 58, because
Sludgy
it's
has like
not
56.
yeah, it's not that important in the length of this game. Trying to grind down 2 seconds, 3 seconds in one star at the beginning of the game, it's not really worth it.
Yeah, that's literally nothing. It's literally nothing in comparison to getting other strats down. But then again, it's like most runners usually get really optimized with their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Like for example, if you want to put in comparison, the world record's like a 2:26:32 by East Bloody Gamer, and the community summer best is nearly coming close to a 2:21. It's like a 2:20 flat. No, a 2:22 flat. Sorry. And
I
yeah,
think it was updated recently. Let me take a look here because I have that pulled up. I believe it's a 221.57 right now.
no dang, hit the sub 2:22. Nice. But yeah,
So
that's
yeah, there's a lot of things that either a lot of runners don't do or just small improvements that can be made. Because that's like a 4.5 minute difference if I can actually math.
yeah,
So there's lots of time to be saved still. It's just having the dedication to do it.
yep, basically. All right, so next up we have Timba's actually going to go into Bowser Jr., which it's basically going to do this one skip, which is basically known as platform jump, which hope it will just explain when we get there. It's like a really, it's basically a really simple triple jump from the glass platform onto off of the glass platform, and you can kind of get sucked into the gravity of Metal Egg. We're gonna see Timber attempt it now.
And it looks like he missed it, is which sucks.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Tim
he missed it again, but Alias making it.
yeah, Alaeus is actually just Alaeus got it. Timber's having a bit of issues with it, so
The way this trick works is that you just get barely out of the gravity range of the planet you're standing on and into the gravity of this planet. And the reason the gravity for this planet is so huge is because it has to include the entirety of Megaleg in it for when you actually get onto his head.
yeah, basically. And all right, we're gonna see Alaeus actually just going straight on to Mega right now. Timber's actually all right. Timber's gonna go on to do it right now as well. So we of course see an obvious lead from Alaeus when he goes into. Oh, Timber's actually got the Timber got a really fast long jump here, which is basically done by I don't know, gravity or something like that. All right, Alaeus is actually just about done with Terrace here. It's looking like about 28, a low 28, which is really good for a race. Karen is thinking about his TV, and it's also done.
Overall, not very bad for this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2805 or 2806.
It looks like no 5 for Alaeus,
And then Timba's
well,
going to get a 2814, I think? Or 2824,
um,
sorry.
20.
22, apparently I can't even... I don't even know the length of these anymore.
I believe it's 4 cents for. I believe it's like 4.5 cents for a normal scene and 8 cents for a grand star.
That
Coming
sounds right.
8 to 9 basically. It's like closer to 9 than it's to 8. Alright, so next up we actually have this one skip, which I might as well explain now, which is kind of the reason why we actually have two different routes, which is known as Space Jump 1 skip. It is basically one of the more annoying, most inconsistent skips in the game. See how we'll see how both of the runners do, but it's basically like a really annoying skip. Well, it's basically like a really annoying skip where you can kind of save like 30 seconds off.
Yeah, like Pod said, it is the entire reason that there is another route that saves more time. Because it does the comet of this level, which is essentially this level with a timer. And the route only saves time if you do this skip because of the amount of time it actually saves in the level, which is approximately 30 seconds. The reason it works is that those Polestar planets that just saw in the cutscene have a decently sized gravity range, and Luigi keeps a lot more momentum when moving backwards. So this entire skip revolves around getting the right positioning from these pole stars and just
Alright.
hoping you get pushed the right way.
Oh, so Alaeus is doing his own setup here, which he basically does get pulled in by both all three of
There it goes.
Yeah, Alaeus has his own setup for this, which I know often really works. So his does a load. It really works a lot. Tim is looking like he's having a bit of issues. He got it second try, though. Yep.
Second try, but it was very fast backup. Not
Also,
bad at all.
also Alaeus is gonna do this one skip known as Sludgy Hop, and he already missed it, so he's just gonna go on to Toad.
It's interesting. It would
Yeah.
have still been faster to go for Sludgy Hop again, but he opted to go for Toads. Timba not even trying for it, which
That's
I guess isn't that bad of a decision. If if you're not very good at it, then you might as well go for Toads. But there is also Spider Bounce, which apparently is a forgotten strat.
yeah. And also there's Crystal Jump as well, which
Crystal Jump, nobody does Crystal Jump now.
I guess Dix does.
Giggs does because he found it.
Yeah. That's about it. I don't know. It's
Plus,
just
yeah, Crystal Jump was the way. I suppose we could explain that because we didn't, kind of skipped over it. There are all different ways to get into the Sling Star without actually, like, unlocking the toads and getting the ship to fall down. So Sludgy Hop abuses the gravity, so you're able to jump super high, and Crystal Jump might abuse the galaxy or the gravity. I don't remember, but it at least jumps off of one of the toad crystals, so you get enough height to get into it.
yeah. So that skip is just really confusing to set up, and it doesn't really save too much.
Yeah, Crystal Jump is very specific in its setup because you can only triple jump off of like a very small part of the crystal. And either way, I think it saves only the length of that cutscene, which is 8 seconds. But it's usually worth it to try at least once, maybe twice, and then you get it. But it's all up to personal preference in the end, seeing if it's what you think is worth your time.
Definitely. Basically, we might as well just play Sludgy Hop right now, because there's nothing really interesting going on within this level. So basically, basically there's this really weird mechanic when you're doing a triple jump where if you do a if you land the triple jump on a really specific side of the platform, which basically is a little bit of a gravity change, you can do a triple jump, and the triple jump will get a bit more momentum. We're gonna and yeah, that's basically about it.
It's not necessarily that specific platform. It's any platform in general. You are able to do it in Battle Rock 1, which we'll see 2 stars from now. It's an auto-scroller, but you're able to do the same thing there. It has to be any planet that has the sharper corners on it, like that, because it was shaped more like a T.
Alright, so next up we have Camella, which
is RNG.
We don't know if it's RNG or not.
It has to be. There's no other way.
But yeah, it's like we see Timba and Alaeus do a triple jump off the platform when he went into the fight, which basically means when you do the triple jump, you can actually just skip the entire well, you can actually just go in with a shell, which basically means you can just go straight into immediately. So
yeah, because otherwise in the first phase he kind of goes back and forth, and either, again, it might be RNG, it might not be, throws either a fireball or a shell first. Usually it's a fireball, But if you bring a shell of your own into the arena, you can just totally skip that first phase and throw up a shell right away.
Alright, so Rolling Green is the next star up. It's going to be kind of another motion control level.
It's the hardest level in the run.
If that most people do, I do not imagine anyone's actually going to. Well, I don't imagine Timba and Alaeus are going to go for it. Maybe time later, we'll see a few other runners actually go for it. Where yeah, where you
I
basically.
think they'll go for it.
No, I don't.
It's not that bad.
I've asked Alaeus if he wanted to go for it, and it was like no. In another time, so I don't think they're going to go for it. No way.
Anyway, I guess not.
Right.
Anyway, what they do basically 4v skip if they were going for it is on the planet they're just on, the very short second one that Alaeus is shooting to right now. You jump off the right side of it onto the track, and it saves like 2 or 3 seconds, maybe 5 most.
I think it's
I guess
4.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's like people usually say it's like 4 seconds, but it's not
Ooh.
worth it. Oh, Timba could have easily taken a death there with that group.
Yeah, that was getting pretty close.
That was a bit of a close one. So, all right, so yeah, Timba's going to go into the start. He has a bit of a lead over Alaeus right now, but we're going to eventually see him catch up. Hopefully it's still just going to be a close race. This is just what I want to see.
So the exciting part about this level is that there isn't any exciting parts. There's not much to explain at all, because it's an auto-scroller. It's very exciting.
I guess you could technically just do a couple of long jumps to have a bit of fun around and just whatever. But yeah, it's actually like there's nothing really going on with this strat, and yeah.
There's only 2 things, and they're right at the very beginning here. I only think the runners are going to go for the first one, maybe the second one, but I'm not sure. This first one's just a triple jump here. You're able to get into that launch star just barely if you get the right amount of height. The second thing which Timba is going for is the backflip. You skip just a little bit. It's another screw and then some pole stars show up.
Yep. I've never actually... Alaeus is actually having a bit of
it. Side flipping. Oh, this is not turning out good for... It's going okay. Alright, making it in there.
Good try, though.
See if you does backflip. Cool.
Some people actually do go for... some people usually have issues, especially it's like... Some people usually have issues going for that strat, so... It's like... Sometimes, I don't know, it's like... Yeah, you're having your off days. It doesn't really work to try, and it usually is like pretty annoying because sometimes the skip just doesn't work. Yeah, like the idea of the trick is pretty simple, and it really is kind of simple. But like Potter said, everyone does have their off days. And then of course you just kind of get irritated because you think it's simple, and then you keep failing it. The endless cycle. Yep. It's basically like the Galaxy experience. Like you usually find a trick that's like really easy, and you fail it like 6 to 7 times. All right, so Timba's are gonna do the Timba's just done the long jump, the triple jump, and Alaeus is about to go for it right now. He might have gone for it one. He went one late because I think he got shocked by the ball, and I think maybe like lost track of where he was or something. Not entirely sure. Either way, you just triple jump at the very edge of that just to get to this planet faster. It saves some time. Again, I'm not sure how much because it's a very small thing.
but it's nice. Timba having a little trouble here with the observatory movement, but still ending up getting the triple jump. Not losing too much time overall, though, so it's not that bad. However,
Alright,
we are
so...
going into a very fun level, Battle Rock 2. It's very interesting. We get a lot of bombs, a lot of cannons. It's a good time.
Yeah, basically. Also, there is, I might actually have a bit of time to explain some of the routes that are different to this game. So,
Oh, might as well.
there's a route that was found with Space Jump 1 skip, which is basically like, you can just do while you do Space Jump 1 skip, you can get Space Jump Comet later on in the run, which is, slightly faster, but there's also a bit of another route that I know Fire Breather actually does. Shout out to you. But Fire Breather actually goes for Space Gun Comet after this Battle Rock 2, which actually we'll see next. We'll actually see that tomorrow. But if for people who are not really comfortable with Space Jump 1 skip, you can easily go Space Jump 1 then Space Jump Comet in the first round of Fountain instead of the second, and you can do Battle Rock 3 later.
It's, I believe, slightly slower, but again, I'm not sure by how much, or if it even is.
I don't think it's slower, no.
I suppose you do the same amount of stars.
Yeah.
In the same similar trips.
Yeah, it's the same trip, so there's not really too much time lost. Well, there's not. I don't think there's any time lost, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess not. The reason people still would do the Comet later is, in my case, it's only because that was the first route. That's how the route was originally given or like presented at, where you do the Comet later. But then the guy who made the route said there was a safer version where you do the Comet earlier, and it doesn't really lose any time. So there's really no downside to doing it, and it's probably better, but people don't do it because it's not as known that it exists.
Yeah. Oh yeah, fun fact. But in that, on the planet that Timba's on right now, you could actually soft lock. It's like a really precise thing, but if you get I don't think this is ever gonna happen, but it's like I haven't had it doesn't happen for like 2 years, which I mean I kind of found it. But it was like you can actually get 50 star bits, which means you get a 1-up and get hit on the same frame, which basically means you can just soft lock the game for some unknown reason. Apparently. It's happened to me once, so it's like, hey, I might as well explain, because it's funny. Alright, so we're gonna see Battle Rock 3 next by Timba. Mainly like a really simple level, so there's not really too much to explain.
It is one of the most exciting levels to play, because there's always something to do. Like, it's not even the same things most of the time. There's a lot of different things and small optimizations you can do. It's hard to get all of them, but it's always cool to see them. Like Timba trying for one there, missed it, but again, it doesn't really lose that much time because it's only a small optimization.
Yeah.
Another thing here, just to backflip, small time save to get onto that platform first.
There's technically triple jump that as well, which doesn't really save too much time, but...
If triple jump just saves a little time on top of a backflip, but it's not that huge. Alaeus getting shocked! Again, not that bad though.
Like, not really too much. Honestly, this level, if you make a mistake, like, if you make a small mistake, it doesn't really matter, because there's still another hour for... Sorry. Still another 2 hours to the run. Not too much of an issue. Also, sorry if I actually cough randomly. I actually have a bit of a I'm losing my voice a bit, and I'm kind of eating crackers. Okay. All right, so Timba's
So, yeah, Timba's going into the top man area. Usually what you'd want to do, since there's two here, is there's one that he goes and spins, and one he shoots starbits at. It's faster to shoot starbits at the one just because it's a little too far away, so it's faster than walking from one to the other.
Do you need to do the stupid comet stars when you only have one? Yes. There are basically like two different two comets, one in Battle Rock, one in Gusty Garden. We'll see the one in Gusty Garden later, but well, we'll see both of them later actually. But it's usually like they're not too bad they're not too bad levels honestly. They're just there. It's not.
They're the best part about the ones that we do is that they're very short and just the boss battle. Because I believe one that people would normally think about, at least when I do, when I thought about it before running this game, was the one in at the very end of the game in the Lava Galaxy, Melty Molten or whatever it's called.
Ew,
We have to play the
why?
entire level with a timer and never die with no
Wait,
checkpoints.
wait, there's no time. Oh yeah, unless you mean, of course, life the. I thought
I,
you
I,
meant like
bel- I thought there was a timer.
no,
There
there's
might
not.
not be. Well, the point was that it's very intense and it's a long star. The good thing about the ones that we do in this route is, in the case of this one, Battle Rock 3/Comet, you land on this silver planet at the end. So you don't have to do the rest of the level and worry about that. So if you die on the boss, you're right there. And the same thing with the one in Gusty Garden later on.
Yeah, Deep Dark Comet is the worst. All right, so Timba's actually going to go for triple jump right here.
Ooh.
Oh, um,
I think
or
he
not.
got I think he got confused because he got the frame perfect jump. So I think
Yeah.
I think he was where he wasn't expecting to be.
Oh, he's doing a backflip there, which
The backflip
I
is faster and is better.
I actually never seen anybody go for that. Because
Really? A lot of
it's
people
like
do.
because it's like what I usually see is either triple jump there or there's a setup I actually found where you can do like a backflip and do a wall kick, backflip spin wall kick off the green platform, and it's like, yeah, same bit. I usually find that a bit more consistent if it actually cooperates.
See, my setup is essentially what Alias did. There's that one crack, and you just stand on it, then face left, and then backflip and hold right. Some people decide to spin. I don't, and it never fails.
You know, I might actually go for that.
It's Alias
Oh,
having some issues
Alaeus.
with the gravity. I haven't seen those issues before. This has never happened before. But looks like he just has to do the section again. It
Not too great of a
sucks,
time on.
but yeah,
Not too.
there's worse deaths to happen.
Yeah. So we're gonna see Timba go into Bowser 1 here, which he does get really. Which you basically have to spin.
Alien's just falling off the edge here. Not sure what he's doing. But yes, sorry to
Making.
interrupt.
Oh, it's fine. So we're gonna see Timba go straight into Bowser and yeah, and spin. If he doesn't get full fun back, he actually lands straight on the platform, and you can boom straight in and attack him, saves which saves goals for the cycle. So Tim has of course got a bit of a lead right now. He's got a bit of a, I would say it's like near about a minute lead, because Alaeus has been really messing up a couple of really Alaeus must really been having a bit of nerves, I guess.
It sounds
But
right.
But I guess Alaeus could really catch up a bit later on, honestly. Alright, so Timba's just about going to be done with, turns out literally, I think it's like 50 after 5001, which is pretty cool. Turns out to 5001.
5001, yeah.
Pretty,
Still
still,
pretty good though.
still really good for the skill level here. I mean, to be honest, I was kind of expecting a really close race. And but we are getting a really close race here because, well, because both of the runners do have really good PBs.
They're very close in skill level, I believe.
Yeah, both of them have like 238s at the minute. Alright, kind of switched audio, by the way, to
Yeah, I
Alaeus.
noticed.
Maybe no support the double runner.
Gotta see how well it goes.
Yep. So Timba has Alaeus actually has a bit of a minute. Well, just about a minute down. Timba has about a minute lead at the minute, but it could easily change later on. So shouldn't be too confident. Also, Timba actually has 401 star bits at the minute, which is really good. Really good because he doesn't
That's
actually. It's funny,
yeah, it's
but
very strange.
I guess because he,
Usually,
I guess because
yeah,
he didn't go for a honey I've one skip.
that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess
Basically,
I continue speaking from personal experience, but when I am leaving Fountain, which is after beating Bowser 1, I generally have around 320. So it's very weird to
yeah,
see
same.
somebody having all 400 going into kitchen, because usually you have to make up the last 80 or so in the next few stars.
Yeah, which is usually done in Beach Ball Secret. You can get about 45 on, and
Yep, that sounds right.
in Ghostly One you can make about 20, and there's a couple of extra ones you can go for. All right, so that triple jump there in Beach Ball 1 is a bit more complicated as Mario. It's like it's like really hard to do. Because there's this one unknown thing known as tilt, where you can just you can basically tilt is like really complicated. There's a video on Sam's YouTube channel, which is like one of the OG runs of this game, where yeah, it's like really hard to do.
The general idea of it is that you land on a slanted platform, and then the game thinks that you're facing the direction as if you were standing straight on that platform. So the game kind of thinks that Luigi's entire body is tilted, and then you go back to standing on a normal platform, and it still thinks you're tilted. It's something weird like that. And the only reason we use it here is that the leaves tilt you enough, and then the triple jump you do here gets you just barely enough height compared to the other triple jump, normal one, to get up to the top there and either land on it or ledge grab it. And it really depends because nobody knows how that cliff works. Sometimes you can land on it, sometimes you can ledge grab it, sometimes you can wall kick off of it.
Sometimes
It's
you just slide off.
sometimes you'll just slide and not even get up there.
Yeah,
Sometimes you won't slide and just won't make it. It's very inconsistent, and at least to my knowledge, nobody knows what certain things happen.
yeah.
I guess it is consistent in you can always get up there if you get the right tilt and height, but the result if you're just a little bit too low is
All
not
right.
certain.
So next off we have Alaeus is going to do about Beach Ball 2, and Timber's going to do Beach Ball Secret, which is actually faster than going into Beach Ball 3. Because of star cycles. I don't know, it's like really complicated. So basically, what what Timba's going to do is you're going to see this level. For those who played Galaxy 2, you might recognize the first Galaxy that was shown, which is this. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to see Timba go into the going to take the shell. He is having a bit of issues here, but oh, this
He's getting really close to the wall. Still makes it over, which is fine.
Yep.
It's just
Timba's actually hit a secret chest here, which basically sends you off to another area with these waterfalls. And normally, what you need to do is you bring a cataquack over here, and you can get a bit of height, but extra height, but you can just triple jump off it. So we're gonna have a bit of an introduction to Ice Flower. Sorry, voice crack. Hey. Where you can just make ice platforms, basically. Timber actually does get a bit of an earlier cycle here, which does save a bit of time.
he's going the safer strat as well of getting the cataquack. There is a method that I guess I'm not sure if Alaeus will go for, or we'll find out, I guess. Where you skip the second ice flower, you get up onto the edge wall, like the side wall, and then you backflip into the star. I believe, again, it's common theme, approximately 5 seconds. Maybe closer to 10 because of waiting for the cataquack, but it's also another one of those risky ones. If you go for it, you have to be dedicated for it. If you miss it, you can't go back. It would lose too much time.
Yeah, basically. It's like not really too worth it. So the reason why we did Beach Ball Secret first instead of Beach Ball 3 is because get the go straight into the cutscene of you can go straight into Beach Ball 3 here, which basically means the cycles that you're going to see of these top boxes are fixed to be a bit better than what it used to be. So we see
the cycles in this game are worked by how long something is on screen, which will be more, in fact, way later in Baran. But how it works for this one, at least, is like when we saw it in the intro cutscene for the other star, the secret, everything was moving, and that's where it would end up being when we got here. But in the case of now, we skipped them, so it didn't move at all until we could actually see it in our vision. Which is kind of strange, but that's how it's ending up. That's how it works. And
so we're gonna see. We've seen Alaeus actually doing a long jump, and well, we're gonna see Alaeus. Well, we've seen Timba actually do a long jump into a spin to skip this entire section. It's another really risky step. It saves about 30 seconds, but it's really annoying, and it can really annoy people if you mess. It can really just get on people's nerves, and it's just like, it's a skip that you shouldn't miss, but it's like you miss it a lot, and it's a lot more about positioning and everything. So it's not really as simple as it looks.
yeah, if you get it, it's Alaeus has this common theme of just falling off the edge, which is
don't know what's
fine.
Going on.
But the skip has, I think it says around 15 seconds, and if you miss it, you lose approximately 30 seconds. So it's
not worth
like low reward, high risk. It's kind of like everything else. If you want to go for it and you're good at it, might as well go for it, but it does hurt to fail.
Yeah.
This one sometimes more than the other tricks we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, basically we're also going to see this in Comet as well, so
you always get 2 shots at it.
Yeah.
Timba collecting the star chips in a mansion here. The only thing that we didn't note on this star is that there's the rainbow star that he collected. The only reason we collect that is because you run a lot faster.
And
And
you can
if
just go
you
straight ahead and
are,
hit the. You can just go straight ahead and
yeah,
hit the booth.
that's right. That's the other reason.
So next up we have
I'm
Mansion
so
Clip
used to
here,
it.
where we have Mansion Clip, where you can kind of just use these two pole styles because the mansion has no collision detection on the floor, so you can just go straight through. There's a bit of an other setup for it where some runners, no, I don't think anybody actually does, but I used to do back in the day, where you can kind of constantly spin and tap A on a pull star. Not many people know about it, but if you do, you can kind of get as much height as you want, as much height as you can. You can get a lot of height, basically. So we're gonna see Timba has over 400 starbits here. And Alaeus probably is gonna come like really close to 400 right now. He's gonna probably reach it. Hopefully he does before. Well, hope. So basically, it's like we need to try and get 400 starbits before we reach this Hungry Luma right here, because the main reason is if you don't have 400 stars, you need to either back into another level and complete that, which of course loses time, or you have to mess up the route with comet cycles, which is honestly one of the more annoying things of the run. It's one of the more painful time losses because oh, by the way, I'm gonna actually interrupt myself. Alaeus is actually not gonna go for man, which
He did and failed it and decided to go in the mansion instead.
that's fair enough.
That's a very strange decision.
It's a very strange thing to do because it's like, I mean, Mansion Clip doesn't. Mansion Clip saves more time than going into the mansion, but it's like, it's a bit more consistent. All right, so we're gonna see Oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna see Alaeus eventually doing a bit of a long jump. Oh yeah, this. Oh, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Nice. I don't know if you mind taking over, Ottoman. So.
So right now we're just seeing Timba long jumping through Sweet Sweet, which I didn't get to see if Alias had enough star bits. If not, then we're going to see a huge route difference. But I think he has enough. Yeah, 404, which
Just
is
enough.
cutting it close, but that's kind of how Galaxy works. As long as you know how many star bits you need, you should be able to get it. So the entire idea is that you feed the Hungry Luma, then you talk to Luigi, which we're going to see why on Timba's screen in just a second here. And then you go into the level. And then the level is just a whole bunch of long jumps, essentially. It's a very flat level with a spinning platform.
Yeah, and you
You just
can.
dodge the holes.
Yeah, you can just straight up dodge the holes and go on with it. But yeah, so Timber's actually just got a meal letter from Toad that is only triggered because of Luigi. And we're gonna see one of the harder stars, well, quote unquote harder stars of the run here. Hopefully he can get it first try. So he does go into Good Egg 1 for this before the Luigi message. Hopefully he gets his first try. And he does. Nice. So basically, the reason why he does go into Good Egg 1 instead of Good Egg 3 is because when you do Good Egg 1, you can actually just skip the opening cutscene, which saves 20 seconds. If you go into Good Egg, you of course can't. It doesn't do anything in 120 star, but in any percent, it does. You do lose like 15 seconds if you don't go for it. If you miss it, and aren't wary of what you're doing or concentrating. So we're going to see another cosmic clone of Honey Hive, where you there's a bit of an early start to Honey Hive while you where you can actually hold Z hit Z at 2 and hit A at Z hit A when you hit go, which that's a 5 frame window, and when you do that, you can actually get a bit of a speed boost immediate when you're going to go into that. Hopefully, we're going to see Timba get it. No, Timba's going to go for it probably because it doesn't lose any time. The fact that Luigi saves a sense from the Haunted Mansion is just nonsense. Bit of a fun fact, but apparently it says that that Luigi is the NPC Luigi from is actually a couple of pixels taller than the other Luigi. Also,
Yeah, he's a
Alaeus
couple of pixels taller. He's a different
Alaeus
color, and he's a completely different model. But yeah, Alaeus is having some difficulties with the star. He finally got up here.
Yep. I have no idea what on earth was just happening, but it can be in all seriousness, it's the start of the game. So yeah, what do you expect? All right, so Tim is gonna go back into Beach Ball. There's an actual strat that not many people know of. That Tim is actually having issues with movement. He fell in. Oh. There's a strat that not many people know of where you can actually do a home and ground hound off 2 of the runners, and you can just kind of make it land on the actual platform. It's basically like a sword strat. You can save a second every time you go for it. One to Bread Ghost. It was found by Bread Ghost. But if you mess it up, you don't really lose any time. So it's like it's basically like you might as well go for it. You basically just hoe and ground pound off you basically just hoe and ground pound off of the 2 loom lands. So we're gonna see Alaeus. Alaeus does get the boost. I didn't see Timba get it, but I don't remember if he did or not. Timba's eventually gonna go for Timba's gonna go for the long jump. See how he gets it. See if he gets it first try,
No.
and he doesn't. Heck. It can really get really be a pain if you actually mess it up. So Alaeus does have a bit of time to catch up here.
Okay, he
And
did get it the second time though.
He does get a second try, which still pretty good. He does lose a bit of time to his PB, but it's not really too much of an issue.
So now Timba's going into Bubble Breeze, which is strangely difficult, kinda. It's not that hard, but it's still very easy to die. Because the general idea is you are in a bubble. If you pop the bubble, you die. And then if you get hit by the spikes, you fall into the purple stuff and die. It's a lot of death.
Yeah,
And it's very
basically.
easy to hit the spike things at the end of this section because it's a moving thing and you go really fast.
Yeah,
It's
and
yeah.
you usually don't. I've never actually had that happen to me before, but it's actually really easy to die in this level. It's so if you're not careful. So
Yeah.
we're gonna see Timba do this one strat. So basically, the back of you're gonna see that this the back wall right here, you usually would expect it to be doesn't doesn't really have its collision detection working, so you can just do a backflip and just launch it straight to the star. I actually remember one time I actually did get it casually, and it's funny. Wait, did Alaeus take the lead, or did Alaeus do I don't remember Alaeus doing Bubble Breeze. What?
I don't know what he's doing, which is
Um,
not good.
that is not good at. Yeah, he hasn't done Bubble Breeze yet.
Hold on,
Oh
give me a
god.
second.
Oh god, that might actually be a. I have no idea if that's actually going to be good or not. That could be very costly for Alaeus right now because comet cycles could be really messed up
So
for him.
I pulled up his actual stream so I could look at his splits. His splits do that after, which I suppose
Oh.
doesn't change anything. And
Well,
it
I
gets
don't.
Vistar out of the way, so.
Also, Elias is not going to do the door skip here, which I would probably not expect him to, because that is it is a really inconsistent skip. I personally go for the there's this one key setup and a zero and a no key setup, which the one key is the zero key is not really hard. The zero key is really hard, and only like will contenders actually go for it. And one key is just like pretty easy, and it apparently zero key saves about 23 seconds, one key saves about 18 or something like that.
That
Compared to what?
sounds pretty accurate. I'd say that keyless saves closer to 30 seconds. But then again, I also could be wrong. I'd have to look at numbers again and actually remember them. But the
Yeah, I believe
idea of the keyless and one key setup is, at least for keyless, you don't grab the question mark coin and you land on the doors that are not visible because the walls of them are able to be landed on for whatever reason. So you land on the very, very thin walls, then like jump off them and wall kick off them. It's it's
it's
really cool
really
to see, and it sucks that we didn't get to see it, but I'm sure there'll be races in the future where we get to see it. And
yeah.
then
I don't.
the one key setup is essentially you get the question mark coin and you do that only once, which is still faster.
Mhm. All right, so we're gonna see a skip from Timber here, where you're basically gonna shoot over to the second airship right immediately. Which, if you do that, it actually it saves going onto the first airship, and you can just go straight onto the platform right here. It's like you can I know there's a bit of a really riskier setup, which is not worth it, but because it's like you can make a really precise shot, and if you do it just right, you can actually land straight onto the platform with the switch that Timber's just activated, and yeah, you can just
I
go
don't
straight on.
think anybody does that though. I don't
Yeah,
believe it saves nearly as much time as it is to risk your
yeah,
run essentially on that. And it doesn't even save that much. It maybe saves 5 seconds maximum,
yeah.
not including the setup time that you'd have to do to line
All
that
right.
up.
Alright, so we're going to see Timber do. Timber's just done with Bowser Jr. Second Bowser Jr., which is basically like. It is overall. It can be a really hectic fight if you mess up, but luckily we see Timber get it done right. Hopefully, I don't know if Alaeus is done. Alaeus is looking a bit dodgy now because he only has 1 HP, but maybe he
trying to get a coin and sadly not
working.
able to get one.
Dang.
I'm wondering if he's going to do the triple jump here to get the coins. Nope.
No. I think he's taking a bit of a risk, which if it does work out, then good on him. But if it doesn't, then it's gonna be a big time loss if he doesn't.
Yeah, because if he dies here, he'd have to ride that platform again, which
Yeah.
is in the case of this. Okay, he
Oh,
just
he
went
does
back
get
now
a
to get the coin.
Good call. Really good call on him.
It's a good call. It would have, again, like I mentioned, it probably would have been better to grab it while going up to the trigger, but it's always hard to see backups while you're doing the run, so I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Missed the one shot, but was able to back it up really quickly. So
Good thing
it's not that bad.
he did because it could have been really bad if he actually stayed in the fight for too long. You can real.
He
It's
starts
really likely to
shooting,
die.
because in the first phase, he's like facing the side so you can see more of the ship. So you have only 3 bullet bills shooting at you, and that's it. And on top of the match Koopas. But on the second phase, he faces you, so on top of having a smaller window to hit, he shoots 6 bullet bills at you, he shoots fireballs at you, and there's magic Koopas. And on top of all that, the bullet bills and fireballs all can hit the Koopa shells, so they despawn for a short period. So it just makes the fight absolutely terrible if you don't get the kill done really quickly.
Yeah, think so.
Anyway, like we were saying earlier, here's the first Daredevil mission. And like I said, we still spawn on this boss planet, so we don't have to deal with the entire level, which makes it significantly more tolerable.
Yep, and it makes the fight a lot easier than So next we actually I don't know if they're gonna do Space Junk. Is it Space Junk Comet next? I think.
Yes.
All right. So next Timba's gonna do Space Junk Comet. See if he gets the skip again. It's a lot. The skip is a lot more. The skip is a bit more different than in Beach Ball Beach
Oh,
Ball.
apparently not. I don't remember.
Oh no. Oh yeah. Horror Stories next.
That's my
Oh yeah.
faulty memory.
Same. I usually forget that Horror Stories like the 30th star on the run. Apparently, we're actually halfway through already.
Yeah, we're about halfway through. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, Hurry Scurry, there isn't really much to say about it. There's this starting platform, and then there's this planet, a whole bunch made up of a whole bunch of shrinking platforms and a black hole. And you just need to grab all the music notes. It's really simple. It's very simplistic and kind of boring, but it's
Not
interesting
really.
enough.
It's at least something.
Yeah, it's an
So.
interesting concept, but
Oh, Alaeus actually took a death on Balrog Comet. That is gonna be really costly on him. Oh my goodness, that is actually gonna be really costly because he is gonna go eventually further behind Timba.
yeah, he has to start playing a little better if we want to see him winning this.
By
Like we were
the
saying earlier, there's always more difficult things ahead, and that is still
yeah.
very, very true. There is so many more difficult things that we haven't even gotten close to yet.
Speaking about it, here's one right now. Space Junk Comet. Basically the exact same thing as Space Junk 1. By the way, can I point out that if you look at the title of the level, it's currently called Speedrun, so speedrun is 2 words. So so we're gonna see Timber go into a pulse. Well, a trick was the exact same trick as we were going taught in Space Junk 1, but it's a bit more finicky than in Space Junk 1, I find. So we're gonna see if we. Looks
I
like
gets it just fine.
Timba gets it just fine. Alaeus is gonna go into Hori's Scurry.
I don't find the skip in this level any more finicky than the normal one.
Mm.
If I had to say anything, I'm going to say this one is easier, which I don't think it's true either. I think it's the exact same. But when I'm doing runs, I get this one almost every single time. Over the normal one, even though they're essentially the same thing.
Yeah. I think it's actually I think I actually find this one easier than the because normally the coin can actually be a bit of a better indicator of where you actually have to land, well, where you actually have to spin. But it's like not really too much of an issue. Alright, so Timba's just about done with Space Gun Comet at the minute. Then he's going to go into Battle Rock Luigi, which I think I'm actually going to go into oil break.
Alright.
And you can just explain from here for a bit.
Yeah, of course.
Oh. Alright, see you guys in a bit.
Yeah, so the very basic idea here, again,
You're on
for
your own
this
for a bit.
for the Space Junk Comet is just the same thing as Space Junk 1. It literally nothing has changed except for there's more coins and there's a timer, but the timer doesn't really matter because we went faster than that anyway. But for Timba, we are on Battle Rock Luigi, which may look a little familiar. We were here once. He's filling the triple jump, which isn't that bad, loses a couple seconds for each time, I guess. Alaeus missing the gravity skip, which does suck. He failed it in the not great way where he fell all the way down. Usually you'd want to fail it where you're able to grab the pole stars again, so you don't have to do that all again. Getting it second try, but with a long fail. Not the best, but it's still better than nothing, I guess. But Timba, the thing about Battle Rock Luigi is that it's really just Battle Rock 1 with a slightly different ending. It's not even that different. You just rescue Luigi. Otherwise, it's an auto-scroller, and it's a great time. They have a party. They I don't know. They just do things. They collect star bits. Alaeus just finishing up Space Junk Comet now. Probably getting a 2:36 in-game timer, which is a little worse than you usually like. I suppose you'd usually want closer to a 2:50, maybe a 3-minute time if you are very good, but
yeah. Alright, so
2:38 still not being that bad.
Timba's just about done with Battle Rock Luigi. I had to just go to the toilet. I had to wet my flannel again because apparently I still have a nut bite. Yay. So, Alaeus is eventually going back into the same level. Timba actually looks like he's caught up with his PB now, which is actually pretty good because he's actually on PB pace. From what I can tell. So, it's basically the exact same thing with...
Whoa!
Oh.
What did Alaeus just do? I want to do that. That was awesome.
I have never
I'm going back.
I have never seen that, but that actually looks cool.
Sorry for the typing. I was typing in his stream so I could go back. That was awesome. I want to do that.
Yeah. Same.
So, what it looked like he was trying to do, he did the triple jump in a different way, which would have just gotten him to the launch start just that much faster. But I've never seen it done the way that went, or anyone attempt it like the way he did. So, which would have saved a couple seconds over the normal setup.
Could anybody do me a favor and clip that and clip that and send it to me, Whisper? Because I actually want to
I'm
post
working
the
on
Galaxy.
it.
I want to post in
I'm
the
doing that
Galaxy
now.
Discord. Because I've honestly never seen that strat, and that looks cool. Thanks, Alaeus, for that. Alright, so Timber's gonna go into Gusty Garden 1 next. Back on. Because, yeah. Timber's gonna go into Gusty Garden 1. Not too much of a complicated. It's a pretty simple style, there's not much to explain. And, other than that, there's like, you'd basically do a triple jump right. You're gonna see right here. Yep, can literally just skip another star. Well, it skips going into another part of the planet. So we're gonna see another bunny that you have to catch, which can honestly be a bit of a nuisance. So we'll see
The
how.
worst creature in the game is the bunny.
Yes, I can back you up on that.
Timba getting it.
It looked like he was gonna barely miss it, but he did get it. So hey, that's cool. Good on him.
There's always the backup if you do miss it, because there's 3 hops on that side of the cube. That's the second one. The third one is just before the little hole in the hedge. And if you miss the second shot, then you just spam all of your star bits in hopes that you hit him before he goes through that hedge. And then hopefully catch up to him. Which is... It's not fun if you get to that point.
Yep. So, alright, Gusty Garden 2 next by Timber. Alaeus is actually a star behind Timber right now, so, it looks like, unless Timber makes a real big mistake later on, Alaeus, could easily catch, unless Timber makes a really big mistake in the run, Timber obviously looks like he has a bit of a bigger lead than Alaeus at the minute, so.
But
they're still
bedroom in
playing.
general, bedroom is very rough. It gets easier the more you play, as everything does, but it's still just as difficult in the sense that if you fail anything, you can lose so much time.
Yeah,
because of the way you can fail. Like right here, there's this planet that looks like a question mark. We were just on the dot of it. Here it is. There's these 3 moles that he's going to kill right now, and if you mess up the cycle compared to what you're used to for the moles, which it looks like Timba might have just done. I don't know what he's used to.
Yeah, annoying.
But you have to start chasing the moles like he's doing right now, hoping that you find the right one. And it can waste. It can waste so much time, like he is doing right now.
Oh heck. So
stuff like that just loses a lot, which is what I meant.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bunny catch.
But yeah, what I find is both Timber and Alaeus both have different play styles with their movement. Because it's like, what I usually tend to find with Alaeus is he usually is a bit more consistent with his strats. Like, he doesn't do, like, he does a lot of races, he is a really consistent with what he does. And when he does skips, he is like, he only does skips he's like 90% to 95% consistent at. And Timber, what I find is like, both of their movements are still really good for their level because they're like 239, 238 level. They both have like 238s, 239s. And from what I find, Timber's a lot more consistent and a lot better with his movement and his but he doesn't really incorporate strat until like later on than what Alaeus actually does. Like I think only recently he started doing Space Jump 1 skip and Honey Hive 1 skip. That's kind of causing him to change to the new route.
And I guess it just shows that, again, how easy it is or can be to learn this game. Even though there are a lot of these harder tricks, you really don't need to do them until you just get the basic movement down very, very well and then not die. Because
Like,
just doing those two things is the biggest time saves you can do
yeah,
when learning the game. Because people always are like, oh, should I learn this huge skip? And if you really want to, sure, but it's not going to save you as much time as just getting better at the movement well.
yeah,
So I
definitely.
feel like Timba's. I don't necessarily agree with the way he's doing it, but it's clearly working out for him. Just being able to consistently do things, even if they aren't the biggest skips, and just do
Yeah,
it consistently enough.
as long as he gets the movement down, that's like kind of the big thing in Galaxy. It's like it's like if he does a load of, if you can, there's like two different play styles of what I find when you do Galaxy, which is like you try and get this movement down, and then you just learn the skips as you go, or you can try and get as much skips as you can at the when you start, and eventually try and work on the movement, which I would say I'm honestly a bit more of the second, to be honest, because it's like you do a lot of the skips, and then it's like you can work on the movement as you go. So it's like, so
Mm-hmm.
the movement eventually just comes to terms with what you're doing in the skip, and overall with the movement you can just get a lot more consistent. Um, More consistent with what you're doing if you know exactly what you're doing in what order. The Timber's actually just gone into Timber's just done with Dusty Garden Secret. He's going to Dusty Garden 3. We're gonna see a couple of strats by him and eventually Alaeus when he gets there. But we'll just explain when we get there because it's like not really, it's not too bad strats that to mention. But it's another one of those you can real if it's another one of those galaxy experience quote unquote galaxy experience strats where it's like you can either get it first try every time or sit 7, 8 try or just game over sometimes, which happened to me once in the past. All right, one sec. I I'll just type it in chat there for a sec. By the way, thanks for the resub, Stock Monkey in One Speed Gaming. So so we're gonna see both of the runners actually go well. So we're gonna see Timber go into probably one of the more weirdest, well, probably one of the weirdest strats in the run. Hopefully, we'll see him get it first try. But if it's not first try, it doesn't really lose too much time. So basically, you just do you can do a straight up triple. So basically, it's like you do a really good long jump all the way over from this planet you see right here all the way over to the next. We're gonna see Timber go for it, and
I'm
he does
surprised
get
that
it.
made it. It looked like he spun really early, but
Yeah, but
I
he
mean, it
just
worked, so it doesn't matter.
it works, so there's not really too much of an. It's not really too big of an issue. I thought he was gonna fail it, but looks like he did get it sometime. Well, he did get it, so okay. That's cool. Alright, Alaeus is probably gonna go in. I think Alaeus is I think what Alaeus usually does, he does go for the fast strat, but then he doesn't go for the. What I don't really get is like he does go for the fast strat, but he doesn't go for the safe strat after, which I would. That's probably what I would do. It's like if I don't get the fast strat first try, it's like I go for the strat.
Mm-hmm.
But what he does is if he doesn't get it first try, he usually does it casually, which is kind of what he did in BSG, which. Yeah, it's completely understandable because it's like you don't really know the other setup for it, but it's like it can be a bit weird of what I don't want to be yeah, but it's like it can be a bit awkward sometimes because so you have to really think on your feet of what you're doing. So Timba's just working on stuff on Dusky Garden Comet right now, which is another one of them dead. By the way, I wanted to point out, but what he is gonna do with the with this well, I keep forgetting his name. Bloody hell! I keep forgetting his name, but it's like so what he's gonna do with this hit is he's gonna do 2 ground pounds because while he's in the air, you can actually just get a set. You can easily sneak a set ground pound in, which basically makes him go die a bit faster. And it saves a bit of time. So we're going to see Alaeus. By the way, we're going to see a free strat. Oh, the skipping Dusty on free. He does go
Oh,
for.
this one. Okay.
I actually
Oh,
never.
that was.
He missed it.
Hmm.
I
He was
actually don't.
doing it strangely, but I don't know if that was all because it was an accident or if that was just how he did it. But that is the alternate version. You, instead of long jumping right, you long jump up to hit the
Oh,
switch, and it still brings you to the same planet as the other one does. It just is slightly slower and then activates everything. So you have to
yep.
dodge all the cannons like we're about to see right here, which
So
isn't too
I.
difficult, but it's still not as fun.
Yep. Also, pardon me on I kind of just. Pardon me on the mistake I just did there, because I was thinking. I never knew Elias actually did that strat. I thought he usually either goes for the faster one, the same one that Timba did, and then if he messes up, he goes for the other one.
It could
But he
just be because of the race setting here.
it's either that or I've never actually seen Elias actually do that strat before, so it can just be either that or just straight up the fact that he's never done it before.
Yeah, I haven't personally watched either of these players that much.
Yeah, I've done a race with both of them in the past, and I've won against Alaeus once because Alaeus did a couple of really bad mistakes, and I've done well. Alaeus was really having issues with tree skip, and yeah, it's been really good. He's been playing really good, but the fact that he messed with tree skip and I completely messed up late game, and I've raced Timber recently, and I've lost against him, so it's like it's pretty interesting to see both of them runners actually go up again because I know they have done matches before on their own free time, and I believe when they were doing a race, I think it was Timber winning against Elias, but don't quote me on that. I'll have to ask him in commentary. So
And
Elias
just
is
so
just
it
about.
doesn't go unnoticed, at the beginning of this fight that Timba just got done with, when he got up to there and spawned the cutscene, he did have some troubles getting onto the platform with the freeze gang guy that I don't remember the name of.
Bamber.
Yeah, Barenber. He had
I
some
just
issues. He lost the ice flower, and then he got hit by some ice, and then had some issues with the wall kicks getting up, which
yeah
were all very not great mistakes.
yeah they're
But
not. they're
He
not
still has a
too
sizable lead.
they're not too much in comparison to other mistakes. Also, we're gonna do so this doesn't really make any sense, but apparently Timba's gonna go into freeze flame comet here, which apparently we do that before freeze flame 3, which gives you a bit of a sneak peek of what you're gonna see later on. Bit of a spoiler. Spoiler alert for those who are doing freeze flame 3. So Alaeus is gonna go into freeze flame 1. Alright. So Timba does miss the Shadow Mario boost that he does well, Timba misses the Shadow Mario, which does not really lose too much time, but it's like it's a 5 frame. It's usually a 5 frame window in a 60 FPS game, so that does give about a one in. You do get 12th of a second to get it, which is not still not that much time. Alright, so we're gonna oh. So by the way, Alaeus is gonna go for a Alaeus oh, that actually would look a bit sketchy, but Alaeus is still doing pretty well. Alright, so I'm gonna see him. He's gonna go over to the question mark bot and doing a long jump over to skip the entire turn. Alright, so I might also point this out, but Timba's gonna go into one of the more broken levels of the run, mainly due to the fact that there are there are two different sets of skips here. One of the skip is well, also to point out when he might as well also point out, but when he is doing the hitting the 5-star chips, the 5 crystals with the 5-star chips in them, you actually do go neutral in the control stick as it makes Luigi pause for a second. So Timba is gonna go into Freeze Flame. Well, Timba's in Freeze Flame 2 at the minute, which we're gonna see a really interesting strat where you basically go for a. You're basically gonna go for the long jump, and you can kind of skip the entire. You can kind of skip this entire section. He's gonna Oh, I've never seen it done off the question mark blocks before, but okay.
I think it makes it slightly easier to land onto the platform there. Without
Okay.
just without burning the lava.
Yeah.
It's, I think, kind of preference, but it does make it easier.
Does make it a bit easier. So there's a bit of a setup where you can just where you can kind of do a bit of a lava boost, but it's not worth it. But if you completely mess up either the movement or the track, you can doesn't really save that much time than what you just saw right now, which it's not really worth it, but it's kind of a swag strat.
It saves maximum of 1 second, but it does look significantly cooler.
I don't think it even saves a second. I think it's like 0.6 or something.
I don't think it saves any time, but recently I've been told it saves 1 second, which I'm like, okay, if you say it's 1 second, I'll give you that. If it doesn't say even more.
I think I remember hearing in a Yoshi fan video it's 0.64 or something like that, and it's like, oh, I don't even remember.
Yeah, the Yoshi fan video is where I assume I heard it saved about nothing.
It saves like nothing, but it's you basically grab the life shroom and you can do a I think technically there's a bit. If you could get the life shroom while you're doing the lava boost, you could save a bit more time because it's like you get both of them in one go, but it's like it's never been done before, and I guess
it's not possible, I don't think, because in that same Yoshi fan video you're referencing, he did attempt to do it and said that if it were possible, it would be faster by more, but you're not having some difficulties. Yeah, I don't know if you'll make it.
No, he's not.
I can't tell because I can't hear his game, which is
Oh.
fine, but
Oh, he did make it.
that's very not good.
That is not good. That's going to give Alaeus a bit more time to catch up. It's going to be a close race. It's still a really close race. A ton of there's a ton of time to still. So so Timba is actually you basically have to hit both of these torches. Um, lit both of these torches, and yeah, it actually opens the opens the power star. Well, opens the sling star. My thing, power star. Then this is actually a bit of a edited, bit of a different version than what you actually saw with the Freeze Flame Comet, but it's a lot more because of the ice flowers and of course lava instead of ice. Which I don't know why, but yeah, whatever. Oh. Alright, so oh yeah, we're almost at Honey Hive Honey Climb actually, not Honey Hive. So yeah, I might actually have to explain it kinda soon. This the Honey Climb
Uh,
strat. Honey
That'll be
Climb,
interesting.
I can't speak today.
So we get to see Timba going back into Freeze Flame 1, which is where the secret star is. And the secret star is probably my second favorite star of this entire run
Yeah,
because of
same.
how fun it is to do if you do it well.
Definite. I would say it's like one of my favorites because it's like so clean, it's so fun to do. And
Mhm.
especially the movement looks like so it's so satisfying when you get it right.
Yes, exactly.
And it's like really fun. So we're gonna see a bit more slow momentum from Timba here. And Alaeus is gonna go into the freeze flame free section, which yeah, still still pretty good. Oh, still pretty good run for both of them, especially it's because of the marathon.
Oof.
Oh,
Alias likes falling off these ledges again,
ooh,
which
I,
isn't that bad. He didn't get terribly far, I don't think.
uh, that's still a
It's
bit of a time
still,
loss.
yeah, it's still not good, especially in his position being farther behind. Getting the Goobma bounce, that was awesome.
Oh my god, you actually need to clip that. That actually looks pretty cool. I need to actually stop posting this in the galaxy just to see if people know about it, and if it saves time.
The first one I posted, Valu
Uh,
says it's probably slower, but
dang.
I disagree, so I'm gonna time it later.
Alright.
That Goomba bounce will save time, but I don't think it's consistent because that Goomba can be anywhere.
Oh hey,
However,
Timber. Mhm. So
yeah,
apparently,
go ahead.
according to Hardcore Gaming, that Timber's actually like a minute ahead of his PB at the minute.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So I'm actually gonna whenever my commentator controls actually loads, I'm gonna switch to Timber. So if you can explain about Honey Climb at the minute, which is actually one of the more annoying stars of
It's not even that annoying. It's really fun. So this strat here, Timba pushes against the wall, lands on the honey, and then flies. Doesn't get the good setup though. So the camera changes. It's very weird. So So hopefully we get to see it more in depth when Alaeus comes and does the level. So what happens is when you... I can't even describe it very well. If you just are able to do that jump and spin like Timba did and have the camera not pan either left or right, he'll just fly up. There's no good reason on why this happens. It just does.
And I think
You would...
and the
Mhm.
and the strat actually was recently found sometime like I don't know a month or two ago by Valo, and and it was it's what it's been known to basically like you can lose so much time if you don't do it optimally, and yeah.
Yeah, like Timba on the second planet here, he tried to do the other better one because you can't do it the same way you can do it on first planet here, but you
Yeah.
can do it with the momentum off of the purple bug. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but it's faster. I can't tell if he got it because I don't remember what it looks like because I don't see it,
Oh, hey, Jella.
but
Yeah,
it's cool.
I can confirm the tournament is a thing at Jella.
Is indeed a thing. I am here doing the thing for it.
Yep, I'm also doing the thing. So,
Timba
Bowser.
going into my favorite level right now.
Yeah. It's actually one of my favorite levels, even though it can. Yeah, it's really confusing if you don't know what you're doing, and if you're a well, newer runners actually do find this and the Bowser fight really bad. Well, it's like really really confusing as so it's like you need to you should at least know what you're doing before you're in this level or while you're in this level. Otherwise, if you're gonna just straight up have a bad time with the run with this level because it gets really confusing, annoying.
But
So
like Free Slim Secret, it is, if you do it
yeah,
right, it feels very, very good to do
all
right.
right. Alaeus is actually gonna do I don't know if Alaeus actually did the honey climb. I assume he did the strat.
That that's my
I
bad for being distracted with Timba
yeah.
on this.
So
Timba right
Timba's
here is
you
doing the gravity skip, which saves a kind of auto scroller where you have to wait on the plus sign shaped box, and it's very fun to do the gravity skip because you're skipping all of that and you fly through every single one of the gravity zones, which can be hard to control, but it's very cool because you just launch yourself through it and land on the next platform. There's a method of it that is slightly faster, where instead of waiting for the plus sign block to move forward, you just long jump immediately, but it saves maybe a maximum of 5 seconds and isn't really that worth it.
so this Bowser Beat fight right that Timba's doing right now, you can actually it looks really if most people don't really know this, but you actually need to hit the tail of the Bowser because if you don't, you can actually you don't have Bowser actually starts to like he starts doing his I don't know, I like calling them sucker punches because it reminds me of Pokemon. Bowser does a so it's like basically it's just you need to hit the tail, and most runners don't actually. That's an issue that I used to have where, and you can just basically just get slammed by him and die, die if you don't know what you're doing.
Simba's not having the best time with this Bowser level. He missed two of the Bowser spins when like he was spinning, meaning around the planet. That's my bad. And he didn't cancel the spins, which I'm not sure if that's something he normally doesn't do, but not best fight, but for a race, pretty much anything is acceptable as long as you're able to
Still
get
pretty
past it.
good. Yeah, it's still pretty good for him. So yeah. All right. So by the way, basically like most of the cutscenes in this game aren't skippable. After so I, yeah, had to take a second to read that name fully. Also, Alaeus is actually going to take the life for some reason. I have no idea why. That's funny. I don't know. It's like really easy to take the
It's very easy to do accidentally. I do it all the time, where you just long jump
same.
and you long jump into it, and you're like, oops, and then you have an extra life. And the only
Yeah,
reason you would want to avoid it is because when you collect the first one up of a file, a text box will show up, and that wastes approximately a second. After the first one, it doesn't matter, but for any percent, you try not to grab any because you're able to avoid them.
yeah, basically. All right, so we're actually nearly done with the run at the minute. So Timba's actually going to go into engine room, go into the engine room. Gonna see how he. Uh, we're nearly done with. Well, the game's nearly done. We're just still got another 40 minutes, 45 minutes left. So yeah, hopefully, yeah. How many stars does he have again? Oh, yeah,
He has
500.
500 exactly, which is
500
very
on the
easily to
nose.
get.
Yeah,
But
that's a really good amount of spirits to have because it's like you can really get a lot in Gold Leaf 2 and in Toy Time 1, and that should hit you over the 600 mark that you need for Drip Drop.
Toy Time 1, you can get about 90, 94 if you're really focusing on them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get. I usually get 600 before I reach. Oh, I usually get 600 earlier for some reason, and it's like I shouldn't really, but
I get, when I get to engine room, I have about 410, maybe 450, and then I collect some. I don't even remember what star I collect them in. I think even I don't collect anything up until Toy Time 1 because Toy Time 1 has the 90, and then if I need
yeah,
Starbits after that, then I'll grab them in Toy Time 2.
I should actually do that. Definitely, I should do that to be honest, because like what I do is I usually get started sweet sweet, and that actually loses time because our animations.
Hmm.
Because basically, it's like when you do a text box, it's like you can just lose a bit. Timber's having a bit of issues with the full stars at the minute. Kind of hit the third one really easily. Well, you can hit the third one sooner, but Timber was having a bit of problems there. Also, we're gonna see another one of these bunnies. Oh, Timber's
That's not good at all.
that's
Timba making the right decision though, able to
yeah,
chase him down and spin.
good
It still
call.
sucks though, but he didn't lose as much time as I've definitely seen people lose.
Yeah. So basically, there's a bit of an extra strat that was found by Frostfall, one of the two-player runners, which basically it's like you can kind of spin. Well, you can kind of do a jump, and you can land onto the a really specific part of the planet, and you can just and the bunny for some reason has really weird AI and just comes to you like you're some kind of bunny whisperer or something.
It's very funny strat, but I don't think I've ever seen anyone go for it in runs.
I usually go for it if I get the chance.
Okay.
Uh,
I do it very strangely. So I always shoot these star bits, but if you lure the bunny into the water next to where the star spawns, the
Ooh.
bunny walks very, very slowly in water. So if you are able to get the bunny to walk along the entire track of water, it's very, very easy to catch up to him.
Oh, I couldn't even.
And
Yeah.
it takes some practice to get used to like making sure he walks in that specific area, but I don't think I've seen anybody to do it because
Yeah.
I don't know why. The bunny whisperer method is still very good. I just wasn't able to get it.
Yeah. All right. So Timba's gonna do a it's kind of a really precise triple jump off of the brass brass platform. It's honestly a bit. It can be a bit of a weird one, a bit of a finicky strat for newer runners. So it's like you could go for it, but it's like if you go for it, you must get it like I don't know, first try or second try. Otherwise, you're going to be losing a bit of time. So
Timba having
next,
some trouble with this.
really having a bit of issues with these. Hopefully he can. Yep, he got it. So there's a bit of a strat that we're going to see him. Basically, like
Okay.
you can just about reach the you can just about reach this planet from there. It's kind of funny to see. It's kind of cool to see, to be honest. And Alaeus is just about done with Gold Leaf 1. So, next up, next level for Timba is Timba has Gold Leaf 3 next, which is, oh god, one of the more interesting levels. We'll definitely have to see what Timba does here, and I'm kind of interested. I'm kind of interested to see what he does for Tree Skip. Because this one tree skip is honestly one of it can either be really nice to you or just completely not work and be patched for some reason. Alright, so what Timber's gonna do here is he's gonna do a backflip to get tree skip and he gets it first try. It can really be weird to set up. There's a bit of there's three different setups to it where there's one of them you can kind of do a one of them you can use the B and you can just get a bit of boost from the piranha plant. One of them you can triple jump, which is a bit less consistent, and the third one you can see by Timber. Also, he's going to do a cutscene skip right here, where he skips the trigger of this fight. So he's just going to completely skip it.
If you skip the cutscene, you obviously skip the cutscene and save like 10 seconds. But on top of that, the the guy doesn't actually activate. He never shoots at you. The only thing he will do is he'll shock you if you're standing on him for too long. Or rather, I guess this one doesn't shock you. This one spins and knocks
Yeah,
you off. But the point remains that he will do that, but he won't do any other action.
yeah. And also, apparently, if you're still in, if you get shot off in the wrong spot, if you land in a specific spot, it's kind of funny, but you can actually trigger the cutscene while there's nothing there. So it's just like a little blank screen, and you can just, a little blank cutscene going on. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, you have to just avoid the area where the trigger is,
Yeah.
because I've had it where like you finish the star and then you try to long jump to the star around it and then you accidentally long jump into the trigger, which
Yeah.
basically loses all of the time save you had from skipping it because it still plays. At least
Mm,
you got the easier fight though without it actually being active.
yeah. I guess it would be a time save. It would be a time save still.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel nearly as good. It's like I did all that work and it wasn't even worth it.
Yeah, so Timber's gone Gold Leaf Secrets. It's actually one of my favorite stars because it's like when you get it done, really well, it's like so good, it's so satisfying to get, and it's like, oh my god, yes, it works out really well. So Alaeus did get Tree Skip here. We're gonna see Timba do the Comet version of Tree Skip, which which is a bit of a weird one. Alaeus didn't get the cutscene though. So. Alaeus didn't get the skip cutscene though, which sucked. Easily, it's gonna lose like 10 seconds.
10
And
seconds
well,
if a fight goes super well.
if the
Because
fight
now he
goes
has to
well.
dodge these bubbles that he actually was able to skip, which was nice.
I don't know how. Wait, how do you actually? How do you actually do that? Because it's like when I do it, I just often get landed straight in front of the out of the bubble.
The angle that you get projected off of the guy completely depends on where you ground pound his cage. So
Oh,
which is how you're able to uh, decide where you land and how you were able to land right next to the star.
by the way, Timba's not actually doing
I
sleep,
realize that.
which is completely understandable because that is a really weird, really finicky thing to work out. Yeah.
And he probably lost 30 seconds, maybe 20 seconds for not going
About
for
20,
it.
about 20 seconds, but if you mess it up, like I've experienced in the past, you lose way more, and it's annoying. Because it's like if you don't get the back, because basically the camera controls are really flipped over, so triple jump doesn't work. I find it working a bit more consistently for some reason, but the backflip doesn't work at all for some unknown reason, and I don't know why. So, alright, so Sea Slide 1, really, basically another auto scroller. So there's nothing really interesting going on. Just this is also the Crystrin level, so it's kind of a bit meme coming up from Prism, so yeah. This and Deep Dark Fruit just basically makes you just go throughout the level and just collect 8 rings or something like that.
I wonder if Alaeus will go for the tree skip thing that we didn't see Timba do.
I don't
If
know, I
he
think
if he does and will get if he does and gets it on top of that, then we will see really good time save. But it
he
doesn't look like
doesn't.
he will.
That's fair enough. It's, I think more, I think better, more, I think, probably like later, races later on, you will actually see that skip though, so it's not too big of an issue. It's
Will
not,
the will the race later today be streamed at all? I don't remember.
no idea. I actually have to ask, I
Because I
actually
guess
have,
I would like it to if it's possible, but I'm also
mm,
biased because I'm in it.
yeah. So let me just load up the schedule.
It doesn't say that it will,
I'm
but
not gonna lie, to that emote freaks you out. Yeah, yes, it can look like that. By the way, Josh, do you know if the race later today of Claire and Artemis actually is going to be streamed?
it
Because if
says undecided on the actual schedule.
uh, that means you will be restreamed, but I don't know where you're gonna be. It's like you can be in any speed gaming.
Yeah, it looks like there's two of the speed gaming channels open for it, but I am not
Yeah,
management. I am not the person to decide any of that.
yeah, same. So I guess it is gonna. I guess it is gonna. stream sometime later today. And I think
Yeah.
Lori is going to be commentating.
That sounds right.
Yeah. It'll be that will be later on today.
It'll
Yeah.
be
But
about. Let me do some math.
Timba's not actually.
13 and a half hours.
Yeah. So Timba's not actually doing one strat known as surface swim, which it is completely understandable because surface swimming is like one of my least favorite strats because it's like basically just spin the Wii remote like your life depends on it, and it's actually painful. Oh,
It's difficult.
yeah, it's a bit of a bond, on the lighthouse there for Timber. He did actually manage to get it, so good on him. Now Alaeus is going to go into the auto scroller. It's not really too exciting going on. Too much exciting stuff going on. We're eventually coming to the end of the race, so yeah. So we're gonna. I think Alaeus is gonna go for. So so I believe there's this one. So basically, it's like to explain what surface swim is. You kind of just
Surface swing is such a weird strat in general. Like right here, this is surface swimming. So what the game thinks you are both underwater and above water at the same time. And it thinks you're underwater so you are able to spin and get the speed, but you're above water so you get the air and are able to do it infinitely. And for whatever reason, doesn't really have a good reason, you get a very good amount of speed from it.
yeah.
It's faster than I think any other way to swim, or it's definitely faster than any other way to swim, and it's probably the fastest way to travel in the game, besides launch
Yeah,
stars, of course.
definite. And we're
Ooh,
gonna see it. Oh, that
bonking
was
the
a bit.
rock, but still a 54 race, not bad.
Yeah, 54 is like really good for Sea Slide 2. I think that's probably gonna knock him up ahead of his PB. What it looks like anyway. Yeah. Yeah, he's ahead of his PB. He's on PvP. Oh, never mind.
It
Yeah,
looks close.
it looks really close. By the way, hey Lori.
Good morning.
Morning. Alright, so next we have Toy Time by Timba here. We're gonna see a bit of an interesting strat later on Pit Skip, where you basically go up the right side of the Mecha Bowser's armpit, which can be a really weird strat, but it honestly just there's like two different setups to it, but yeah, there's like two different setups to it, and both of them are like this system. Well, the second one's easier, but you are both. We're gonna see what he does when he gets there. So, I also wanted to mention later on. I just wanted to mention that Timba is gonna go into a. Well, in this planet that Timba's gonna go into, basically use the spring power up, which is what I like to call a power down, which is like literally one of the worst power ups in the game. Where you can just basically just too really weird, and you can just skip that by doing a couple of flips, and yeah, a lot better. So we're gonna see tree skip by Timba right now. So well, not true. No, not tree skip. Armpit skip. I am a dork. Like, it's like 12 o'clock. No, 12 p.m. What? I'm not even tired. What the heck? Oh, he's gonna go for safer setup. Basically, safer setup is where you knock over the screws, which you basically knock over 2 screws, and you can just land on the. We're gonna see what he does here. Yeah, he's gonna just go and straight up land on
Yeah,
the arm.
this setup is a lot safer. It does take a little longer than the normal one that you'd do, or the other
Yeah,
one, but
it's a lot.
it's still worth doing over doing this entirely casually.
Yeah, it's a setup I used to do back when I had back ages ago, but it's like it works, but it doesn't save as much time, and it's a lot less. Well, it's a lot safer to be honest, than what the other one is. But yeah, Timber's still doing really well. Alaeus, no, Timber and Alaeus are still doing the great format, to be honest. So yeah. All right, so Timber has over 600 starbits. So yeah, he didn't make the cycle there. Also, to point out, I also speak a new language when I'm tired. Sorry, don't. In heck, sometimes I speak Welsh when I'm tired for some unknown reason. Okay, that was completely a lie, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm getting tired, so I'm not speaking as much.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I gotta actually sleep probably at some point.
It is like 7 a.m. for you. Well, 5
It
a.m. I think.
it's 6 a.m.
Oh, 6.
Yeah,
Time.
Central.
Oh,
Anyway,
Central.
Timba collecting the star bits here. It's required so he can feed this hungry Luma. We've fed a couple of these before. Nothing that interesting.
Oh, Lace is actually doing the exact same. Lace is doing the exact same setup. I know he is. Yeah, yeah. Both of the runners actually do go for more consistent setups, which is like really good, really good of them. Like their movement's good, but their consistency is what makes both of them runners shine. IMO. What time is it for me? Is 12:18. Unless you're talking to Lori.
Central. Yeah, I don't have the best sleep schedule. Let's put it as that.
Yeah. I would say mine's like actually pretty good because I usually sleep from 1 till 9 and yeah.
See, that's reasonable. I sleep from like I don't know, like 7 to 2.
Hmm. Same. I actually should do that for the 602, but whatever.
7 to 2 meaning 7 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Yes. I should do that for the 602.
I just wanted to clarify
Yeah.
which 7 and 2 I meant.
By the way, I might as well mention this, but um by the way, the Galaxy community is like the biggest part of the entire 602 race, which is basically like from Mario, Mario 64, Sunshine, Galaxy 1, and Galaxy 2 back to back, 100%. It's gonna be a race taking part in December, but it's like, it's gonna be a race taking part in December, so like, if anybody isn't interested. 6-2, yes. 602 tournament when? We should have one at Speed Gaming. Nah, just kidding.
That sounds terrible.
I mean, I believe.
I'll commentate. I'm down. I will
Yeah.
commentate 30 hours of 602.
Hell yeah, same. By the way, I think I actually. I mean, there was this one time where in the BSG there was this Pokemon mystery dungeon race, and all the runners actually commentated there. So we can do something similar to that for the 602. That actually doesn't sound like that bad of an idea. So I'd basically just have the runners commentate. A restream for the 602, yes. That actually sounds like a really good idea.
I feel like that is good. We have the 602 race channel where you see all the stats. It'd be interesting to see on top of that, in theory, speed gaming, as is this example, where you have the top two runners on either side, maybe able to switch out, and then have the stat stream on the top. So there's 3 streams total. Have the stat stream on the top, so you're able to see how far behind or how many stars total.
Yeah. How long is
602 is, I think world record is 22 hours.
It's 2103.
2103, my bad. And then world record for and then the general 602 time is probably closer to 26 hours.
26, maybe for maybe somewhere up to 30 hours. Yeah, which is like still pretty good though. Like,
no, it's still really good. It's just it's still a very long time.
It's a very long run. So. You're not joking. It's like the longest someone's ever took for a 602 is like 47 hours, which I still find insane to this day.
It's the dedication to actually finish.
It is the dedication. It really does take a lot out of you too. Like when I tried one, I actually only got to like 47, which is funnily enough the any percent version of the 2. I had to stop 7 shines in Sunshine because of 6 because I felt ill. Alright, back on topic. So, alright, so Timba's actually gonna go into Toy Time 2 here. He's gonna basically see this, for those who play Galaxy 2, you may recognize it's like Luigi actually does have. So basically, Mario is in this game, pixelated, and he's 8-bit. And yeah,
would have been better if we just avoided Mario altogether. But you know, whatever happens, I guess.
Whatever. Nothing else we can do.
So Timba is now out of engine room, which makes things not look very good for Alaeus in general, especially with the mistakes he's making right now.
Yeah.
Which doesn't actually end up being that bad because he's close to the star. But Timba doesn't have too many stars that he can make huge mistakes on. Which is not to say that they can't happen, because there are still a few hard stars left.
There is still a few hard...
And some dumb things that you can mess up that lose a lot of time. However, we're running out of chances here for Alaeus, which sucks.
Yeah.
It looked like he still had the chances earlier, and he had a few. Timba gave him some chances, but Alaeus has just not been taking those chances and running with it.
Yeah.
He's been making his own mistakes, which is just a few too many.
It's just like, it just means that there's just so many, there's just a lot more chances for him to catch up. Like, there's chances for him to catch up, but it was like, you can easily just, like, the mistakes he's been making mid-game really could set up, like, when you make one mistake in earlier mid-game, you can really just set into a downward spiral. and it can easily be a bit of a nuisance for it can be a bit of a nuisance because it's like when you make one mistake, it's like okay, you're not really feeling it. Okay, that's fine. But it's like when you make one mistake, you make another, and it's just oh my goodness,
Mm-hmm. It just adds up really quickly.
it adds up. But yeah, it's like drip. It's like the only stars left that we have are boy base, which doesn't really have too much time. You don't really have too many. You can. He doesn't really have too
Oh,
many chances of time loss. Oh, Timba's
especially if you're
not.
doing it the way Timba's doing it. Timba's playing the more consistent,
Yeah,
getting all the star chips without it moving, which is not a bad strategy. The other method, maybe we'll see Alaeus do it, is you do this weird spin jump off of this guy and
he
skip
is going to do
catching,
it
get
probably.
all of them,
I think
which
he's
I
going
think
to do it.
saves like 20 seconds, maybe. But
Yeah,
not going for it, especially if you're this far ahead, it might as well not do it.
might as well. It's like there's no. It's like you can really just make. Not really. No, you can just be stuck there if you're doing this wrong, and it could easily be like you can easily just rack up a load of time loss for some unknown reason. Some reason. All right, so boy base secret next, which is yet again another one of it's another one of them really simple stars that just doesn't lose that much all. So yeah. So so basically it's like all it is just you need to trigger one of them torpedo Teds. I think they are they called torpedo Teds? I think they are, yeah.
I think the first time they were referred to as that was Mario World, and that's
Yeah.
the only time they were used before now. So there's no reason
Yeah.
they aren't Torpedo Ted.
Yeah. It's either that or in it's that and then I think they were in New Super Mario Bros. Wii and U as well. That's the one,
I
yeah.
didn't even remember that.
Hmm. Yeah, that's the
But
one. Okay. Thanks, Lori. So, Timba is going to go into Drip Drop, which is known as one of the more, if you don't know what you can easily but be one of the biggest time losses of the run. But there's this really good set pattern for it, which could easily, well, which would be a which would be an interesting one to watch. There's a bit of a really interesting pattern that he does that can easily just make it. Well, he can just make it a lot easier. Oh, Alaeus looks like he. Oh, he's just saved it. I honestly thought Alaeus was about to take a death in this one. God, I think he's fine, but that looked really close on his end. Yep, it's fine. I was really scared for a good old commentator's curse, but I don't really. Especially after what happened in Celeste, I am not. Alright, so Drip Drop, we'll see how Timber does it. Hope. See how Timber does it. See if. Does get. No, so the first one's.
he,
This level's
he
a
cut
lot
that a
more.
little close.
This level's a lot more about camera manipulation. And this is yet again about the fact that most enemies do spawn in
Okay.
camera. Well, most enemies do spawn when the camera is facing right at them. So because it's like when they're not in the camera, they just don't move. It's a lot more about knowing where you have to use the cursor. Well, knowing where you have to point the camera. Sorry. All right. So next up, we have Honey Eyes Luigi, which the only major time loss we can easily the only major things we have left are Honey Hive Luigi. Bowser free, which is the final level. And he does go and get Tortured Toad, which eliminates the Honey Ivy Luigi time loss. Well, it eliminates the chance for Honey Ivy Luigi. Basically, it's like if you actually do not talk to Toad, the Honey Hive Luigi doesn't spawn, so you have to go back and talk to him, and it's really embarrassing. Alright, so, this is literally one of, well, we're nearly done with the run here. One of the, yeah, it's one of the easiest stars of the run. It's like, you just have to, talk to Luigi, who's apparently scared for some reason, and he's got stuck in a tree for some unknown reason, yet again.
Yeah,
And
he climbed the tree because he was scared of the bug.
he was scared of the bug, oh yeah. Oh,
And then he's like,
Alaeus?
I gotta climb the tree to
What?
you know.
What happened with Alaeus? I think
Nothing. He's going to drip drop.
I think he might have fell off the one with the Luma.
Oh, that might be possible. I kind of looked away, and it did have a weird camera.
Yeah, I think he might have just straight up fell off the platform, which never seen anybody do that before. Alright, so Timba is actually gonna go into the final Bowser, so we might as well just have a bit of time to see how Alaeus is. We have a bit of time to talk about how Alaeus is doing.
This is not good? What is going on?
What is this camera?
That was terrible.
That is really bad. That's a really bad mistake.
The first mistake started with the backflip, which maybe have messed with cycles. I guess I'm not entirely sure. And then on top of that, when he grabbed the turtle shell and went into the water, he didn't go deep enough to trigger the camera following you correctly, so now he has to deal with the randomness of the eels. And this is a huge time loss. He might die. No, he didn't die.
He didn't.
But
this is a really bad.
He's losing so much time. It's very safe to say right now that the race is over.
Well, you can't say that yet.
The race is essentially over in the sense of the competition.
Yeah. Well, technically, you can't really say that yet.
With how far behind he is right now and still has the one eel left, yes, he could catch up, but Timba has to make huge mistakes that people don't normally make.
Yeah.
Like even worse than you dying at the end or Alex dying and choking his first 229.
Oh yeah. After me.
Or me choking my 229 that I deserve. I'm still mad. It's been like 6 months.
I'm still mad after that 244 choke. I'm still mad after it, honestly, because it was like, if you actually look at my stream, if you look in the entire Galaxy directory for clips, that's like that would have been the fourth or third, if not third, most popular clip ever in Galaxy, but it wasn't even streamed in the right directory because I was doing the 12-hour challenge before. Like, I, for some reason, got over 1,000 views after watching that clip because I was like, I died.
You got one additional Luigi.
I wanted to Luigi. So I kind of died at the final hit and Bowser when I was on a PV pace. So that was a really bad. I found like that was a heartbreaking feelings I've ever actually had. So it's just like still gives me a bad taste in my mouth when I actually didn't. I was just like, no, oh my god, how did I die? I don't think that's ever happened before, but okay. Oh, it's bound to have happened sometime, but yeah. All right, so this planet that Timba's at right now could actually pretty could have been a pretty good choking point. He actually persevered. He made it through, so he's gonna go on to the final Bowser. He's gonna go over to the final fight. Meanwhile, Alaeus is just about to enter Bowser. Normally, if we actually think about it, it's actually looking like Alaeus is gonna get a 241. If everything just goes to plan, and for 240, yeah, it's looking like 241. Plays really well. Timba is just about to go into the final Bowser fight. Meanwhile, I actually have to check about the next matches coming soon.
Go, Luigi.
Go,
I'm
Luigi.
late, but you know, the idea is there.
Yeah. So, all right. So, you mind explaining the
What am I explaining? I'm sorry.
final Bowser, like how that works?
Oh, okay, yeah. So Final Bowser, there's 3 phases. We are in the first phase right. Ooh, I didn't know. That didn't do anything. Anyway, there's 3 phases. We are on phase 1 right now with Timba. Bowser turns into the rock and then tries to roll at you, but there's one little spot that his face peeks out, and then you spin that and you do that twice. The second planet's super easy. You take these rubber tree things and shoot them at Bowser, or spin next to them so it hit Bowser, like that, and then it goes by really quickly because you're able to do it really, really fast. Now we are going on to phase 3 with Timba, which is this planet looks like the planets that we've been on multiple times with all the other Bowser fights. The only difference this time is that we have to cancel this animation where he's in the spike ball, and we do that by getting hit. And then he goes into the ground pound phase, and we hit him and do everything else like normal. So the only difference here is that we have to cancel his spiky shell rolling animation because of how long it takes. And we have to get hit by something that isn't Bowser himself. So in this case, it's a fireball.
Oh,
Timba doing it strangely, but he's still getting it. And it looks like Timba's going to be getting a 238 14.
Timba is just finished. GG to him. He's got a 238.10. Looks like. I think that's a PB for him. Is it?
I don't know his PB, so.
I know his PB is like either 238 or 239.
Well, it's
yeah,
a low
GG
238, so it might be a PB for him.
But yeah, GG to Timba. He's just on winning the race. Congrats to, and also with new. If he wants to join the match, well, if he wants to join for a bit of a bit of an interview, then just a bit of a post commentary, then that's a new PB for him. But if he wants to join for a new post commentary, then join.
238's a good time. Great to see that he actually got a PB in the thing.
It's a really good time for this. Wait. Just heads up in the future, try not to announce a race's RC time until I finish on stream. Alright,
that's my bad. I tried to guess it, but that's usually what people do. At least in my experience, we tried to figure out final time, just because it's such a long cutscene at the end. So that was just because we want to know what time it's going to be.
You just want to know if the time is good or what you got. Alright, so
No, I had
Timba, if you're
I had no idea what it was going to be. I was totally guessing on it.
all right. So Timba, if you're still around, do you mind joining the live on air for sec? I'll just ask him. Okay. Switch to Alaeus for a sec, because I have no idea where he's at. He's on Final Bowser.
Let's see how this fight goes. I missed phase 1. Phase 2 seemed to be going well until that little mix-up right there. Seems to be going okay. Oh, I thought that was the last hit. Okay. So we get to see kind of what he does in this phase and why you want to cancel him as soon as possible. It's kind of difficult, but if you do it fast enough, then you don't have to deal with any of what Alaeus just dealt with.
Timba, I was just join the live on air for just enjoying the voice commentary. If you could. Alright, so it looks like Alaeus is just about to miss PB by about 2 minutes. Still a really good run for him.
Yeah, even like in general, missing PB by 2 minutes in a race, especially for a category this long, that's not that bad at all.
Really good for him. So, but yeah, if you wanna, if you guys want to join for a little for a little post, and then go ahead and join. But yeah, GG to Alaeus. He's getting a 242 actually, but
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be like a 242.14 maybe. Again, I didn't get to see exactly when the final hit was, so I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I think it's like the cutscene's 43 seconds. It's going to be a 242.
I know it's 43 seconds, but I just missed the time that he hit him. So
Yep. It's a 242. It's a 2 hours, 42 minutes, and 18
seconds.
Alright. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, people.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
So congrats on the race win, Timba, and congrats on the PB as well. 238.22. What do you think about what are your thoughts about that?
Thanks very much, Pods. I thought it was pretty good. I'm glad it's a PB, especially in a race.
Yeah. So was there any kind of anything you weren't really happy about in the tournament in the race?
Well, there's always mistakes, and I missed the skip in Beach Bell Comet. I messed up in Freeze Flame 2, Freeze Flame 3 actually, and things like that. But yeah, overall, pretty happy with it. Yeah.
That was a load of really interesting stuff going on between both runners, and it was like you can really kick. I think you can knock your time down even more before next race. So it turns I think what's actually for what. By the way, I might as well just move on to Alaeus and have a bit of a talk with him. So, any thoughts on your run? Any thoughts in your run, man? Any what were your overall what were you happy about? What?
I'm happy about the fact that I have first tried possibly every major skip in the game. The rest of the run was complete rubbish. I can't say anything else. I mean, I got basically screwed by the game once or twice, and because of camera issues, momentum canceling. But I can't say I can't say that without those instances I would have won the race because I made a lot of silly mistakes myself. So yeah, that's basically it. I think that everybody on the screen saw when they saw the mistakes every now and then the mistakes I was making could probably imagine me what I was doing behind the screen.
Yeah, like I noticed a lot of you just totally walking off the edge for seemingly no reason. And you did that, I think, 4 or 5 times in a run, which I'm sure did not feel good to do.
No, I got that once in Bowser one with the moment. Basically, my long jump got a lot less momentum than it usually does, and I died for that. I got that in Beach Bowl 3 because I was holding up and the camera. Well, basically, I held up too soon. The camera sent me up. I then tried to hold right, but of course I fell down because I couldn't long jump in time. And yeah, these were basically the two big ones. But for instance, doing that in Drip Drop was completely unacceptable. I was very, very disappointed by that. So yeah, congratulations on Timba for being more consistent in the run, I guess, because he just mentioned 2 major mistakes, and I could mention probably 10. The good thing is that I have a lot of potential. I feel. I mean,
there was a lot of potential, both of you. Honestly, it's like you can. I knew intent. I was thinking this was going to be a really close race because because how consistent both of you are, and you're like really next to each other in the match. So all right. So where's this actually going to put you? So Timba. So Timba's going to be in the knocked into round 3, which is going to be the winner of Oakenem and Star Smiley, which is going to face Sludgy, which I honestly, no offense, but I honestly think Sludgy's going to win because Sludgy's like record. So it's going to be you're probably going to face Sludgy. I don't want to be anything. I don't want to say anything, but it's like you're probably going to be facing Sludgy. So any thoughts on that?
Well, it's going to be interesting, but I do not think I'm going to win for sure.
Yeah,
but it'll be fun anyway.
but time to get a 233 before the race versus Sludgy, so you have like into a chance.
Yes, it will work.
So
I have a question that I wanted to ask both of them because I was kind of curious thinking about it because there was a couple of strats that because I haven't personally watched either of you that much, I don't know what strats you normally do. So I'm curious, and I'd like to hear your feedback on, was there anything that you would normally do when you're going for a PB that you didn't do here?
For me, I can say, well, why don't you just go to him before you see for that?
Alright.
So for me, I didn't go for Honey Hive 1 skip. And then I also didn't do the tree strat for Honey Hive 2 because I had bad movement and decided against it. But I think apart from that, that was all.
Yep, that's completely fair enough.
For me, I think Gusty Garden free long jump. I usually go for the harder strat. Of course, I messed up the easier one, so I might as well have gone for the harder strat. I don't think there's anything else in particular. I'm trying to think off the top of my mind, but maybe the fastest round in Honey Hive Comet. Usually I'm pretty consistent with that, but I chose not to do that because my movement today was not exactly on point, so didn't want to waste time there.
That's fair enough. All right, so I might as well just talk about the next matches in the tournament. So the next match is going to be on Friday, today actually, on about 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, or 1:30 British Standard Time. It's going to be a race between Claire and Artemis. Yep. So it's going to be an interesting one. Claire's going to be using 2-player. Artemis is going to be only using 1 player. So it's going to be a really cool match to see. Next up, we have on Saturday, Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern is Omni and Firebreather. It's going to be a cool one. Going to be an interesting one, on the pun. 2 p.m. we have Meow Mix versus Jerome, and at 8 p.m. we have Star Smiley versus Oatnam. So, I guess I might as well think about concluding. If you guys, thank you guys so much for watching the race here. Congrats to Timba on the PB. Hopefully, we're gonna see a really good race between Timba and the winner of the of round 1 and round 2. And Artemis, in case you were curious, no, Alaeus, what am I saying? I am tired. In case you're curious who you're facing, you could be facing the loser of Meow Mix and Jerome. So yeah, in the losers bracket. So it's gonna be an interesting one. All right. So I guess I'm gonna actually end it off here. Thanks so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you later. Goodbye.
Yeah, have a good evening, everybody, or day, or whatever time of day it is.
Thanks for commentating.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's done.